What's up, guys?
On this week's show,
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 delayed,
Death Note 2,
and Jurassic Park for real?
plus
Dumb shit of the week.
All that and more on this episode
Of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. And with me is my co-host, DJ Melly Mel.
Hey! I don't know why I always do the little DJ motion, even though nobody
wish,
can see me.
I wish you guys could see when we do the intro every time.
Every time.
She does like a little like thing with her hands.
My
like she's
eyes
like
go, like,
scratching.
split,
Yeah,
like
like she's like scratching records and shit for real. It's because you're a DJ Melly Mel.
I guess.
That's how it goes. All right, so our first two stories are going to be Netflix related and adjacent, or just about Netflix pretty much. So first up, Netflix is on some bullshit.
Oh, Lord. What happened now?
Now, I will say beforehand that it's not for everybody. They're testing this in some regions, so it's not everyone who has a Netflix account is going to experience this. It's not yet. At least.
Just the select few.
Yeah. But just wait, though. It's coming to a Netflix near you, because what they have done is Netflix has decided that they are going to play ads now. Now, I'm going to read you the story, and then I will get into the details.
Okay.
So I'm getting this from Mashable.com. It says, the company that almost single-handedly introduced us to binging video has apparently gone decidedly old school, with the latest innovation being tested on its platform. That's right, Netflix is running commercials. We are testing whether surfacing recommendations between episodes help members discover stories they will enjoy faster. Read the statement in part. It is important to note that a member is able to skip a video preview at any time if they are not interested. So, what it is during that little countdown between episodes of a show or between movies or whatever, they're going to start playing ads for other Netflix content. And during which you can skip it. I guess it's anywhere from like 15 to 30 seconds or something like that. But people, I think, have a valid reason to not be happy about it.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Netflix, is not having commercials.
Exactly.
That is why YouTube has gone down the toilet, because you cannot listen to a video, watch just anything on YouTube without, oh, here's a 30-second commercial, or here, you can skip this ad in 5 seconds.
I hate the ones that you just can't skip. And they're like 5-6 minutes long. And it's like, what is this shit? I got to refresh the page. It's like, don't make me start using ad block on YouTube. Because I do personally use ad block.
Sure.
But I don't do it on YouTube. Because it's like, well, if I am watching independent creators that I like, I don't want to jip them out of their ad revenue by using ad block. But everything else, fuck them.
Yeah, that's like one of the great qualities of Netflix. You've got, 10 seconds in between episodes?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so that's enough time to watch the episode, readjust in your seat, grab a,
Right, if you want to pause or something, go to the
pause
bathroom.
it, go to the bathroom, pick it up, and then you're good to go. Now you're going to start putting in commercials, and you're going to charge $11? I don't know about that one.
See, this is what my problem is with it. My issue is, if you're going to,
don't they already have a section where they are like, oh, you watch this show, and this show?
Exactly.
You should watch this.
Exactly. There's already recommendations for other titles that are similar to things that you may be interested in. And when you go on the homepage of Netflix, like when you first come in, they always have like their original content or their newest like thing that they're trying to push like up in the background.
Right.
You'll have like your, last viewed and all that subcategories, but in the background there's this big thing of, this is The Ranch or some bullshit. I hate that fucking show. Amber loves it, but
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it's
like I tried and I saw
apparently it's like the most popular thing on Netflix, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't follow what's most popular. Never have.
But they plaster it pretty big in front of you. So
Sure.
it's obvious, that they're trying to push something, which totally fine. Do what you need to do.
Right.
But my thing is, I've already bought the service. Why are you trying to sell me on programs that you already put them on the front page? I'm already a subscriber.
Right.
You don't need to convince me to watch more Netflix. I'm giving you my money. Because that's my thing. I guess to a degree, it does make sense because they're trying to gauge how much interest people have in certain content.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that part. But at the same time, I'm already on Netflix. Like, why are you you're literally preaching to the choir. It's like you're telling me, hey, look at all this other great shit on Netflix. It's like, I know. That's why I give you $11 a month to watch this shit. Like, I don't... It's frustrating because, yes, you can skip them, but I have a feeling that it won't always be that way.
No.
I think
because
eventually...
everybody's just going to skip it.
Exactly.
Or, you're going to have to wait 5 seconds before you can skip it.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to have its intended purpose because everyone's going to want to skip it. Mm-hmm. And if they actually want to get people to watch these other shows by using that, they're going to have to find a way to make you not be able to skip it. So I fully believe that, yes, it's going to be a test now, but eventually you're going to have to sit through that shit and not have a choice unless you just back out and go back to the menu.
And that's a pain in the ass in and of itself. Because once you click out of your show, it goes back to that main. Mm-hmm. So then you got to go back down and either go to continue watching or you have to research for it. And if I were the people working at Netflix and I had not went along with this idea, but, was watching to see how this would work, I'd be like, don't do it.
Yeah, no. Because, okay.
They're going to lose subscribers.
I think depending on how they roll it out, I think I don't think it's going to destroy Netflix, but I think it's not going to help them in the long run. And not only that,
it's not going to do what they're trying to do.
No. If you think about it, like Hulu does the same thing, but they're worse. They actually have like full on commercials. Now you can get the super duper Hulu package and not have to see any commercials at all. But it's like, bitch, if I'm paying you money, I don't want to... Look, the whole point of YouTube Red is no ads. The whole point of Netflix was supposed to be, hey, you can watch whatever you want, as much as you want, no commercials, no breaks. If you want to sit and watch every last goddamn episode of Grey's Anatomy like my girlfriend does over and over and over and over again, then you can do that.
Yep. My grandma has Netflix specifically so she can bounce between NCIS and Gilmore Girls.
I swear... Amber, NCIS, Gilmore Girls, Grey's Anatomy, in just a constant rotation.
Grandma watches Grey's too.
Just a constant rotation.
Yep.
Like she's watched all the entire series up until this point of Grey's Anatomy. Now we're back to episode 1 of NCIS again, and I'm like, can we please watch something else?
Right?
I'm like, God, I'm so sick of hearing this shit.
Yep, my grandma will just, and she is so bad about it. She'll fall asleep to it. And
Amber.
then she'll roll over in the middle of the night because her laptop has went off.
And turn it back on.
Hit the continue
Are you
thing.
sure your grandmother's not Amber? She does the same
They could
shit.
be related, I'm telling you.
Because we...
Late night Netflix buddies.
We play it on the PlayStation at night, and she listens to it to go to bed, and it'll go to that. Are you still watching? And then like if she wakes up in the middle of the night and is quiet, she'll like sit up in the bed, hit the controller, and then go back to sleep. And I'm like, if you're going to sleep, why is it fucking playing?
Thank you. That's
our
my
consumer
thought,
bill
but...
is so high because of her.
Oh, I bet.
I swear.
I bet.
The TV and PlayStation are running
constantly
all day, all night.
When my sister-in-law comes to live with us, our consumer bill is going to go back up. Because when she lived with us, I love her to death.
Hopefully you're not listening.
I doubt it, but even still. Love her to death. However, my light bill doubled in a month because she always had Netflix on. Always had every light in the house on.
Yeah, that kind of shit. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, the big thing about Netflix that was so appealing in the beginning, like not just the mail delivery service, but Netflix as a streaming platform, was that it wasn't like TV.
Right.
But just like YouTube, now it wants to become more like TV. Like, that's what a lot of creators are pissed off on YouTube about, is because anything that's even kind of quote unquote controversial or anything, they're trying to get rid of people like that off the platform. And it's all this kid family friendly bullshit. And it's like, so much so to the point where they even made YouTube TV. And it's like, okay, man, like, people are moving away from TV. Why are you trying to become like the shit that everyone's drifting away towards to you?
Right.
It's like, it's ass backwards. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of grand business plan that I'm not, privy to. Yeah, money, but
that's it.
But at the end of the day, yeah, that's about basically what it comes down to. But yeah, so, I just wanted to get that out there because, yeah, Netflix has been on some, I don't know what they're thinking with this. Like, yeah, this is going to go over well, I'm sure.
No.
But
that makes me reconsider thinking about jacking MC Squared's
right,
Netflix information again.
So, on another
Netflix
related story, which this one I'm about to get my feelings about because god damn it. Okay, so I'm getting this story from movieweb.com. Death Note 2 is officially being developed by Netflix. The streaming service released their live-action take on the popular manga last year, which was mostly met with mixed to negative reviews. Since Netflix doesn't release their actual streaming numbers, it's hard to say exactly how well the movie did for them. Despite not knowing the exact figures, the company clearly feels it did well enough to warrant spending a decent chunk of change on a follow-up, which is currently being scripted.
That is why they're putting in commercials.
Right. They're like, we're going to pay off this Death Note movie. It says, head of Netflix's movie division, Scott Stuber, is determined to make an impact on the movie side of things, and part of that is going to include making franchises. Whether or not those movies appear to be popular on Rotten Tomatoes, case in point, the first Death Note has just a 40% approval rating from critics and a very poor 24% audience rating. Despite that, Death Note 2 is already coming down the pipeline with Greg Russo on board to pen the sequel. Good Lord. Okay. Now, if anyone's interested to hear one of my earlier, very rambly episodes, I think it's like one of the first 3 or 4 episodes, but it's like the worst things of 2017.
Oh, yeah.
And Death Note, the movie on Netflix, was one of them. They were in a random order. Like, it wasn't like, number 8 was worse than number 7 to me. They were just 10 things in general. But no, Death Note was on there, and honestly, it probably was my number one thing that pissed me off in 2017.
I'll say you got heated on that episode.
I very much so. I'll say this. If you've never read the manga, at least watch the anime. It is a great, great story. And for those that may not know, just a quick synopsis. Death Note is a story about this high school kid. He's the top of his class. He's the son of a detective and basically a Shinigami, which is basically the Japanese version of think a Grim Reaper, drops a notebook on Earth, and the notebook is basically if you write someone's name in the notebook and picture their face in your head, they will die of a heart attack.
Oh.
And then you can write in stipulations of how they die and different things leading up to it and stuff like that. And it's a great story. The kid gets the book. He's initially oh, I'm going to use this to make the world a better place and get rid of all these horrible criminals. And then, as with everything, he gets drunk with power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And then he starts to picture himself as a god, and he will make the world a better place, and everybody will worship him, and only he knows the right thing. And then there's this detective who comes, and he's trying to stop him, and it's basically this battle of wits between these two characters to try and figure out each other's identity. The kid wants to figure out, or Light is his name, wants to figure out L's identity so he can kill him, and L wants to figure out Light's identity so he can put him in prison.
Right.
And figure out how he's killing these people in the first place. It's a really, really good story, and it was one of those animes that people always say that it's too hard to adapt animes into live-action movies and make them make sense. Death Note is a perfect example of an anime that would have perfectly translated to the screen. Because yes, there's some mystical, supernatural shit in it, but for the most part, it's pretty downplayed and down to earth. It's basically a story about a serial killer and, a detective trying to stop him.
Right.
It's really, really good. What they did with the Netflix Death Note movie is horseshit.
Is it?
They completely changed pretty much everything about the character.
Oh.
Instead of him being this really smart, like well put together, calm, cool, collected kid, he's this like scatterbrained, pretty much thirsty as fuck teenager who the whole point that he's doing all this shit is basically to impress a girl in the Netflix version, and it's terrible on so many levels. But the fact that, like it said, it got a what was it, 40% critics approval and 24% audience approval. It's like, what makes them think, yes, make another one of these? This is going to do well.
Yes, please.
Now, I get it. The ratings may have been high for it, even though it was horribly reviewed. But that was because a lot of people was just like, probably, well, I got to see just how bad is this? Like, it can't really be that bad.
Either that or they were the flip side and they knew the anime and they were expecting something great.
Yeah, I love the anime. I've read the manga. As soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know. But I gave it hope.
Right.
Second trailer comes out. A little bit better, but not great, but still gave it a chance. By the end of the movie, I was like, nope, I can finally say this is just bullshit across the board. So get ready for that shit, kids, because somebody somewhere on Netflix thinks that we love the Death Note movie, and they're ignoring everyone's complaints about it, and they're making us another one. So at the end, they set it up for a sequel. It's very obvious that they want to keep making more, but I was like, there's no way in hell this shit's going to fly. People hated this shit. There's no way in hell. But they're pushing on ahead, which one of our stories a little bit later, we're going to kind of circle back around to, like, y'all just going to make this shit no matter what, huh? Like, no matter what anybody says, we just going to make this anyway. Like, okay.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, so I guess silver lining, I mean, if you did enjoy the Death Note movie on Netflix, I guess get excited for this, but I don't know, 76% of people out there are not going to be happy about this, so sorry guys, and I am in that 76%. I'm not, I'm not looking forward to this at all. It's a goddamn Greek tragedy. It really is. It truly, truly is, because they could have made something great, but they didn't.
They didn't. They failed.
No, I think
are they part of Warner Brothers?
No. I know, right? Are we sure this ain't part of the DCEU? Because y'all shouldn't have been just about as bad as they are. But yeah, I mean, one day we will get a good anime live action adaptation. I don't know when. I don't know what it'll be. But Netflix ain't gonna be the one to do it. So
probably Hulu with their $35.
Oh god,
fee.
Somebody, man. I just need somebody to do a good one so we can show that it can be done, and then people will maybe try harder and take it seriously. Kind of like with superhero movies. Like the first few batches of superhero movies were pretty shitty, and then once someone saw like, hey, you can do this and not make it corny and make it good, and people will like it. And it was like, oh, shit, yeah, we can make this great. And then you get the DCEU. And so, sorry, shots fired. I don't hate the DCEU, but I'm always shitting on it. I feel like I'm always shitting on it, at least.
We kind of do.
A little bit.
Which?
It's well-deserved. Hey, we're not shitting on it because we just don't like
it's not like
characters.
We got to stick up our ass or anything.
No,
I mean,
it's just bad.
I'm probably like the biggest Batman person you've ever met. And I still hate on the DCU.
Yeah. I mean, so much so to the point where I almost broke up with my girlfriend last night because she was talking about how much she liked Jared Leto's Joker. And I was like, this shit will end our relationship.
I'm telling you, that thing that we was talking about off mic.
I'm like, don't you ever say no bullshit like that in front of me again. Because I think she was watching like Dallas Buyers Club and Jared Leto's in that. And he is a good actor.
Okay, but
no, what he did, I'm like, she's just biased because she just likes him. So she just is going to accept anything that he does. And I'm like, no, you got to be objectively looking at this shit. It was not good.
Not at all.
No. But anyway, moving on. I have some bad news. The Big Bang Theory is in its final season.
No.
I don't really know anybody who's like legit sad about that.
I mean,
it has an audience.
It's
to a
been
degree.
on for like what, 12 seasons, 19 seasons,
Sure.
something like that.
Sure.
And just like everything else that runs that long, you can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that show has ran out of shit to do for the last few seasons.
Yeah,
they're
they're kind of recycling. I like The Big Bang.
Okay,
but I'm not
Bazinga.
I'm not all bent out of shape about it because I'm like, it's got to end sometime.
Yeah, no.
You know, you can't keep making this show over and over and over and over again. And yes, it's a good show. Yes, it's funny. Yes, we like the characters.
Sure.
But it's time.
It was time. I mean, once, because I don't really follow it like that. But I mean, from just doing research on it, Sheldon recently finally got married to the girl that he was with this whole time. So at this point, it's like, well, where do you go after that? You know, it's like you've kind of told all the stories that you can tell with.
I would say Raj is the only single one.
Right. But
you're not going to have a show just following 3 married couples and a single guy.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, don't say that because somebody somewhere will hear that shit and they'll be like, oh, that's a great idea for a show. 3 married guys and a single guy. That'd be great. It'd be just like 2.5 Men. It'd be great. No, please don't do that shit, please. But I'm getting this from entertainmentweekly.com. It says CBS and Warner Brothers TV have made, I didn't even know Warner Brothers made this show, made the decision to end The Big Bang Theory in 2019 because star Jim Parsons was ready to walk away from the hit sitcom. Entertainment Weekly has learned exclusively. With a reported salary near $1 million per episode, Parsons, along with his 4 original co-stars, stood to make more than $50 million, including profits, if they agreed to stay on The Big Bang Theory for 2 more years.
No wonder they're canceling that shit.
No, they wanted to give him the money, and he walked away from it. They've been getting $1 million an episode for a while, though. Like that's why I was like, God, this shit is that fucking popular, Jesus. But yeah, it says including profits if he agreed to stay on for 2 more years, which is what CBS was trying to negotiate.
Okay.
But Parsons was ready to say goodbye to the ensemble sitcom that made him a household name. Since there is no show without Dr. Sheldon Cooper, next spring's 12th season finale of The Big Bang Theory will mark the end of the longest-running multi-camera series in TV history, which I guess that's some kind of thing to be proud of.
Well, I mean,
it's gotten Emmys and all that other shit too. So I mean, there's an audience for it. You like it, like it's.
What do you mean? You said it.
No, I know. The way I said
you like it.
I know you like this bullshit. No. I guess what I'm trying to say is the reason that I don't like the show is because I feel like it's kind of pandering, and a lot of times I don't know, like you can't just say Bazinga after everything and be like, oh, it's funny now, right? It's like, no, it's the Bazinga was implied. Like, no, I'm just, or the just all the pop culture references that they make and stuff. And it's like, yeah, we get it. You guys like Star Wars and shit. It's like, no one acts like that. That's what bothers me about the show. They take the stereotypical, what people think geeks are, and then they like, yes, now every character is that person. And it's like, no, we don't necessarily act. Now, some do. I'm not saying that
there are some.
Sure, but I'm like, to have all of these people be friends with each other and them being, for the most part, functioning adults. Like, yeah, they have jobs and stuff and they're smart and whatever, but it's like half these motherfuckers live with their mom or have never had sex and all this other weird shit. And it's just like, I don't need everybody on the show to be Sheldon light, basically. It's like Sheldon and then different like subversions of Sheldon. Like that's like Raj, he's another Sheldon. The cool one of the group, the one that's banging Kaylee Cuoco or Cuoco. How the fuck do you say her name?
Kaylee Coco.
Coco? Is that how you say it?
No.
I think it's Cuoco because it's like Couco.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, Kaylee.
Leonard.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, everybody is just, unnaturally geeky, and it's like don't make fun of. I feel like they're making fun of geek culture more so than they are celebrating geek culture. Because like I saw like a little clip of Sheldon's marriage episode, and he's like, "Is that Mark Hamill?" And I'm like, no one would act. I mean, yes, you may be excited, you love Star Wars and all that shit, but it's just like, why do you got to make him like pass out? And
I would say that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's like whole episodes where they get restraining orders,
like from Stephen Hawking or
Stephen
some
Hawking
shit,
and James Earl Jones, and I think they got a restraining order from, I don't know, another Harrison Ford or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, I mean, they have crazy restraining orders from all kinds of characters.
And
Adam West.
Yeah, and as well too, one of the things I don't like about that show, I hate shows with laugh tracks. I can't co-sign a show with a laugh track because basically you're telling me this is the part where you're supposed to think this is funny. And I'm like, no. You know what? We're going to just start doing it. I'm just going to insert a laugh track. I'm just going to say it, just some, that was pretty silly.
Ha ha ha.
Pause for the laugh track. There you go. It's like, if something's funny, I will just laugh on my own. I don't need you to encourage me.
Yeah, it'll be instinctive. It's not.
Right. I don't need you to light up, say applause and laugh and shit and be happy. Like, no, I don't do that shit. Like, either.
This ain't Let's Make a Deal.
Pretty much. It's like either say something that's funny and make me laugh genuinely at that shit, or just don't. But I don't like laugh tracks. I just don't. Like Blackish. That show is hilarious. There's no laugh tracks, and there's nothing in there that says like, hey, this is the part where you're supposed to laugh right now. Mm-hmm. And I just don't like shows that do that. Plus, they just make them feel so dated. It feels like I'm watching Cheers or Seinfeld.
That's kind of the feeling that I got. Like when you started talking about things with laugh tracks, I had to think back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess Big Bang does, but it feels like, Roseanne.
Because someone, I don't know if it was like a deleted scene or like a behind the scenes thing, or if somebody just like edited it on their own, but I saw a video where it was like a part of an episode and they took all the laugh tracks out.
Okay.
And so it's just this awkward silence as they just sit there and stare at each other for a minute, because that's the part where you're supposed to be laughing hilariously. So it's like, you'll hear him, Sheldon saying some shit, and then he'll be like, bazinga, and then the laugh track kicks in, but when it's gone, it's just like, bazinga.
Tweet.
Right, and then they just talk again.
Chirp.
It's like, God, that must be so awkward, like filming that.
Film it, yeah. I never thought about it like that.
Because I guess it makes sense, like when you have a live audience and people are actually there to laugh at the shit, you gotta wait. But it's like, when it's a laugh track, it's like, man, so it's like, so you say your thing, and then you just like stare for a minute, and it's like, okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry for Big Bang Theory lovers. I'm not just trying to shit all over your show. I am. Fuck that show.
I was gonna say, you can't even say that shit with a straight face.
I can't. No. But anyway, final thoughts on Big Bang Theory not coming back?
I mean, like I said, everything has to come to an end eventually. Yeah, they're characters. Yeah, we like them. Yeah, they're relatable. But at the end of the day, there's going to be another show on next week, and I'm sure it'll, blow Big Bang out of the water, or replace it, or take their time slot at least.
Yeah, Young Sheldon. What did you think? No. And that makes me mad too. It's like, wow, like, so we are going to get so up Sheldon's ass that we just finna spin him off into his own show as a kid. Like, okay, that's great.
I mean, I like Young Sheldon too, but it's not one of those things that if I miss an episode, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta catch it on the CBS app, or I gotta try to stream it from my neighbors and with the binoculars. It ain't that serious. It's just TV, people.
No, it's never been that serious.
It's just TV.
But yeah, it's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where you submit your findings of dumb shit, and we talk about it. If you want your submission on the show, find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. Alrighty. Our first submission is from Alex on Twitter at bitchtaught420. And Alex says, whenever Obama got elected, everyone in my middle school was spreading the rumor that he was going to make white people slaves, and the principal had to announce over the intercom that was simply not true because the students were crying in class and shit.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck? First off, Alex, I had to work really hard on your Twitter handle because apparently thought is a word that I never heard of.
I know. DJ Melly Mel did not know what thought meant. Yeah, and I had to explain. And for those of you who don't know, here's some little, trivia or some, pearls of wisdom for you. A thought is an acronym for that hoe over there.
THOT.
There you go. Thought. So you learned something new today.
Sounds like a ghetto version of thought.
Yeah, pretty much.
But,
yeah.
All right. Okay, so she was in middle school, or he.
No, it's a girl. I would hope bitch thought 420 is a girl, yeah.
We're not going to make any assumptions.
No, it was a girl.
Alex was in middle school, and apparently their middle school was real worried about being slaves.
Yeah, okay, so when Obama got elected, or he was going to be elected, there was a lot of people. I'm going to try to make this as non-political as I can, even though we're talking about the former president. There was a lot of people who were saying crazy, like, oh, he was gonna make Sharia law in the country, and he was a secret Muslim, and he wasn't born here, and he's gonna take all our guns away.
Okay, so some of these I've heard.
Yeah, and I remember at the time I was working at Walmart, and I worked in the sporting goods department, and we had rifles and ammunition and shit like that. And you have no idea how many white dudes came up there and bought so much fucking ammunition, because before it was, oh, he's going to take our guns away. Then it turned into, he's going to raise the price of ammunition to like $1 million a bullet or some shit to keep you from being able to, it's like, well, we can't take your guns, and we just make ammo really high. I don't know who started that shit. Low key, I think somebody in the gun business started spreading this rumor to get people to buy more ammo, because we sold so much ammunition during those 8 years Obama was president. You have no idea.
I kind of believe it, because I love my brother to death, but he's one of those.
Oh, God.
He's one of those America. I swear to God.
Sure, and there's nothing wrong with being patriotic, man, but when you,
Yeah, but patriotic's not quite what I'm going for, and you know it.
Yeah, okay.
My brother has a shirt that says America.
Oh, Lord.
Merica.
Yeah, that's...
And, yeah. We're just going to leave it at that.
Sure.
So, I've heard about people gone crazy when Obama was in office, like buying all kind of crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah. They're like stockpiling food and shit, and making bomb shelters. Yeah, and it's just like, oh my God, like seriously. The thing that always cracks me up,
the fact that he was going to make all the white people slaves. This one man in power is going to have the power to take how many people we got in America? A couple million?
A lot more than that. I think we're like 50, 60 million.
All right.
Yeah, something like that. But what's so funny about it is this, like, so he's finna like enslave Congress and the Senate and
everybody.
Like all of his. I'm like, his vice president was white too, right? So Joe Biden is like,
he just enslaved everybody.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb, and it's just hilarious that like at some point people actually thought this shit was gonna happen, and that just goes to show how dumb people are when it comes to politics and the kind of shit that gets people out to go vote. So there you go.
Yep. And with that, I bring us our second submission. Josh Lynn on Twitter at Joshlyn _. All right. Lying about your age, but still in school, is dumb as fuck. Actually, dumb AF. Let me get this right. I'd rather just be young than try to be grown sounding dumb. I'm 19, then... Bitch, well, why you still got 3 years of school left?
That shit cracked me up when I saw it. It was like, I never understood that either.
I never did.
It's like, because I've known people to lie about their age, but it's like, but they still know you're in high school, right? And like this person says, it's like, so you're telling people you're 19, but you're a sophomore or a freshman in high school. It's like, yeah, I would rather look my age than look dumb as fuck.
Right. I agree. I'm a very honest person. Ask me anything, I 99% of the time tell you. 99% of the time I will tell you something very truthful. And I know a lot of people that are lying about their age to get into clubs, or they're lying about their age to get into, adult rated movies or whatever. You're going to lie about your age. You're going to use a fake ID. That's your business. But make something a little less obvious that you're lying. Like, don't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm 19." Bitch, you a freshman. Come on now. You a 19-year-old
It's like, you a dumbass freshman. Yeah, it's like shit. It's like, no, you could just stick with being, your age and not seem like you're remedial.
See, I figured if I said my real age, then that would keep me out of a hell of a lot less trouble. Because, you got them people lying about their age, and then sex gets thrown in there.
Well, shit, they ain't getting in trouble. It's the motherfucker that they lied to is the one that's going to get locked up.
It still adds a whole bunch of issues.
Sure. But yeah, no, I thought that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that's
It was like,
funny.
then, bitch, why you still got 3 years of high school left? I was like,
I'm
that was
dumb
nice.
as fuck.
That was nice. That was good.
Yeah. All right. Third submission was dissenhouse.h on Twitter at happy_5ever. Not forever. 5ever.
Mm-hmm.
Says, straight up, it's fucking dumb to spend hundreds of dollars on a high school class ring. What a colossal waste of money for you to wear a ring that's going to be cheesy AF once you graduate from college.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Okay.
Oh, shit. How much class shit did you buy in high school? She's going to pull out a fucking box.
I did buy the class ring.
Oh.
And I did buy the senior pictures.
Oh.
And I did buy the little portfolio that the senior pictures go into.
Oh, no.
And I did want to buy a jacket.
Oh.
Didn't buy the jacket, but I wanted to.
Oh, the varsity jacket?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I ran out of money.
She's like, I would have got all that shit, but I ran out of money.
The class ring I wanted because at the time I really looked up to my mom. Not that I still don't, but she was like my hero. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted something that I could pass to my kids like she passed to me because I ended up with her class ring.
Sure.
So that was the point of the ring. And I wanted to buy the jacket just because everybody buys the jacket.
Yeah, I guess. But how long can you wear the fucking jacket? Because they make an excellent point.
I would say, honestly, I lived in Texas. I wasn't buying a fucking jacket.
Yeah, true. Because they make a good point. Honestly, I think it would be before fucking you're out of college. I mean, honestly, if you're in college and you're still wearing your high school shit, it'd be like, why are you not repping the shit that you're currently in?
Because
like,
you get a college ring, or you can get a college ring.
Yeah,
too.
because I mean, I figure if you're gonna wear some shit from your alma mater, college shit is the shit that you want to invest in.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I didn't do that shit. The senior pictures, the rings, and the talismans, and all that shit. No,
my mom did the pictures. So to be fair, okay. I mean, I had to help pay for them.
Sure,
but
sure,
they were for my mom.
I couldn't.
They still ended up in a box, and it took us 1.5 years to pay them off. We got them my senior year of high school. I didn't get them bitches paid off till my sophomore year of college.
Damn.
They were $500 for like 12 poses and different outfits. And
hell no.
Yeah.
Nope. You like standing in like a field of corn or some shit. Yeah. They're always so cheesy too. It's just like
I have sitting on the steps, the cap and gown. I'm sitting on a big white block and I'm holding my graduation year in numbers and it says class of, and then I'm holding the numbers. And like, there's one, I'm looking into a corner. Granted, I wised up around college.
Sure.
My college pictures I took on my phone by myself on campus.
She said, "Fuck that,"
and they still came out pretty good.
She said between the fucking what is it called? Between the tuition and all this other shit, it's I ain't got no money for this shit.
No, fuck that. They sent me a pamphlet about, get your graduation photos when you walk across the stage. They sent me them with little previews of what the picture looks like.
Sure.
Everybody on my list oddly got a picture from that package, but I didn't pay for a picture from that package.
Okay.
I will not disclose how or why my sources, but
my sources. You meeting some motherfucker under an alley or under a bridge and shit? Just like a paper bag.
No. We'll just give credit to Mr. Adobe there.
Oh, okay, I got you. Hey, look, gotta make it work. Gotta make it do what it do.
I did everything from my phone, and nobody knew the difference. So,
hey, shit.
I kind of agree though. Like that shit's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to college and it's more expensive.
Yeah, but not only that, it's expensive and then it immediately becomes worthless once you graduate high school. Because it's like, how long are you really going to wear that varsity jacket? Like, you're 26 years old. Take that shit off.
Right.
You ain't been in high school in a long-ass motherfucking time. Like, why is you still wearing it? Oh, look, Southwestern class ring. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I keep getting older and they stay the same age.
I swear, right. Unless you Matthew McConaughey from that movie, then yeah, there is no reason that you should still be holding on to that shit. You know, shit, I can use this to get some pussy.
Alrighty. Now, fourth submission here. Fourth and final submission, but not final story of the night. Comes from us by Bobby James on Twitter at Qslaxer? Cusclaxer. All right, Bobby. What you got for us? It says, schools finesse the fuck out of us. Make you pay dumb money for a cap and gown to wear it once. Why the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit now?
Yeah, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit
Why the fuck?
That is probably even better than the class ring and all that other shit, because at least with that you can get some time out of it.
Sure.
But yeah, you pay all that money for that cap and gown for what? For one night? You can't rent a cap and gown. That
Actually,
is yours.
you can.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, what, like now? Because I know when I graduated, that was mine forever. Like that, I had to pay full price for that shit.
Yep, you can rent a cap and gown.
Oh god damn! I wish
you can't decorate it.
Sure, I don't care.
Well,
about that shit. I didn't decorate mine.
I decorated my my college one, not my high school one.
No,
but fuck, I just had somebody that I knew was had graduated previously, and I just got theirs. And there was like a committee. You could donate your cap and gown if you didn't want it.
Okay.
And then you could like rent it from this little committee. And
Okay.
so they had like a little stockpile.
And this was like something a part of your school?
Yeah. It was,
okay. Because I was
not like part of the school, but you know how you have like the little side groups and hey, I'm gonna be in the band club or whatever. It was
but it was sanctioned by the school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were all for it. They're like, if you do what you gotta do to be able to get a cap and gown. So, I just bought mine. Not really bought it, but I like got it from somebody that had already graduated.
Hell yeah. Like, Mom, did you graduate from, what was your school colors? All right, you still got your cap and gown. Dig that shit
pretty
out.
Much.
I'll make it fit.
And then you had to pay like $10 for the little sash.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't get that.
Buying $10 for, we had to have them.
Oh, okay.
Like, because they had they had little emblems on them. Oh, had the school and like the school name and then like some kind of statue, something or. Okay, so you're looking at me all funky.
Yeah.
And you have been trying to cut down on your likes and ums.
Sure.
And I swear to God, in the last 5 minutes, I've said like and more than I have in a long time.
Mike C Squared has a problem with filler words.
Yes.
I was telling her as well, too, during the break. I'm like, I feel like people are going to think like I'm like on some kind of mood altering drug or something like that, because I feel I have to restrain myself and pull it in more, because I'm so big and loud and boisterous and animated, and I use a lot of filler words as well. And I'm like, when I'm editing this, it drives me crazy, and I'm sure there's some people that have probably listened and stopped listening because they was like, this motherfucker say like or one more time.
Yeah, and that whole bit about Mr. Bobby's Twitter there. Sorry, Bobby.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to make a tally and send it to me of how many times DJ Melly Mel used filler words during that,
like
that's my.
I don't say very often.
Is my kryptonite. That's the one that I, especially in those early episodes.
Mm-hmm. We do know.
No, right. It's like, yes, bitch, we heard you the first few times. I understand.
And now we all want to know what the fifth dumb shit of the week is.
Good segue. Good job. That was good.
Mike, if you would be so kind.
So my personal little dumb story about school. When I was in science class in high school, I had an argument with my teacher, and I argued about whether or not oxygen is flammable. Now, I admit at the time it was dumb, but my point to him was just because you can set something on fire doesn't make it flammable. I mean, it sounds dumb argument now. It's okay. Kind of like the water isn't wet thing. I told him, well, if I set you on fire, does that make you flammable? He didn't like that too much. And I ended up having to go to the principal's office behind that shit. Yeah, so that yes. Now I know oxygen is flammable. Yes, fire needs oxygen to breathe and all that. I understand that. It was just I was being a asshole about semantics and the diction of the whole thing, and yeah, so I did not. Yeah. Now, luckily, they did not say that I was threatening my teacher.
Today they would have.
I know. I'm like, I would be.
You'd have been more than just
expelled.
The principal's office.
They'd be on social media talking about, oh, he finna come shoot the school up or some crazy shit. Yeah. Yeah. So, not one of my brightest moments, I will admit, but
we'll just chalk it up to you being a kid.
Yeah, I was just young, dumb, and dumb. So yeah, he didn't appreciate me saying, if I set you on fire, would you be flammable?
That's fucking hilarious.
I'm like, well, anything's flammable that you. I'm like, shit. There's not many things you can't burn. So I mean, shit. I mean, we just gonna make a blanketed statement like that, but no, I get
funny.
What he was saying is, yeah. Somebody's like, you dumb motherfucker. Yes, oxygen is flammable. I'm like, how do you breathe it in? Yeah, it was a whole.
Oh my god. I'd have loved to have heard that conversation in the middle of class.
Oh, yeah.
Be sitting there and have this discussion going on, get some popcorn going.
Right, where's my tea for this shit? Because, yeah, this is getting bad.
Be like, ooh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, he getting kicked out for that shit.
Be texting you under the desk, what the fuck? Although, we didn't text when we were in school. Even when I graduated school, phones were just beginning to get popular, and kind of shows my age a little. But I know damn sure that people weren't texting when you was in school. We'd be passing you notes.
Yeah, I was
going
to say, you're showing both our ages, because I'm like, I do believe we were just starting to get out of that point of flip phones and shit, so yeah, motherfuckers wasn't texting all like that.
No, you folding up the little football, the notes like the little footballs and flicking them at you.
Exactly.
Yep, that would be it. All right, now for the grand finale.
Oh, this is
the grand.
This is the cream of the crop, dumb shit right here. This is
probably the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. And we've lived through kids eating Tide Pods and snorting condoms,
drinking piss, dog piss.
Yeah, yep. All right, now I was at lunch the other day with my boyfriend, and he tells me about this girl. He's like, "Oh my god, since we're sitting here and you got some context, let me tell you about this girl." Now, I'm not going to say what college he goes to, just because I'm sure that the internet is not my friend, and this girl would end up hearing about it, and she'd be the laughing stock of the school. But
she's not currently, just because of...
that could...
Okay.
She could currently...
We're burying the lead. Tell them the story.
Obviously, if we're still talking about it after the fact, then somebody saw something, and this poor girl ain't living it down. At the cafeteria at the college, there is like a... kind of like a Golden Corral buffet type restaurant. You go in and you have free reign. It's all you can eat. You can go to the different stations. You can get whatever kind of food they're serving. And one of these stations happens to be a nacho bar. You make nachos, and they've got a big bowl of nacho meat and melted nacho cheese. And then, you got your sides and whatever. So this girl is going around. She's got her plate. She puts chips on her plate. Looks at the cheese. Hot, melty, nacho cheese, mind you. She looks at it for a minute. There's no spoon. So she looks at her plate, looks at the cheese, gets the bright idea that she's going to stick her hand in the hot nacho cheese to put it on her plate. So she cups her hand, sticks it in, and it's like dangling nacho cheese off of her hand. And then had the audacity to say, "Ow, it's burning my hand." Okay. All the while the cafeteria lady is standing behind the glass where she's prepping work or prepping food. She's looking at this girl and like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Girl says, "Well, I wanted some nacho cheese, but there was no ladle." Cafeteria lady, "That's because somebody just dropped it on the floor, and I sent my associate to go get another one. They'll be back in about 35 seconds. So all this time she's standing there, and she's got this hot cheese burning her hand. This cafeteria is like, now I have to drain and dump an entire bat of hot cheese because you decided to stick your hands in it and you burnt yourself. So now I have to call the emergency services, get your hand bandaged, and you got nacho cheese all over. So now I got to clean that counter again."
Right. It's like, so to recap, you burned yourself, you spilled cheese everywhere, and ruined the entire batch of nacho cheese.
And did not get cheese on your plate.
Mm-hmm. Right. None of the cheese actually made it.
Ended up on this girl's plate.
I was like, what would possess you? At the most youngest age, you learn don't touch hot shit.
Right.
What would make you think it's a good idea? You're like, damn, man, that bitch just really loved fucking nachos. I don't know what else to say to that.
The crazy thing is there is a caddy of spoons, forks, and knives right next to the
thing. I was
thing.
like, just use your little plastic spoon and just scoop it up and just do that.
There's a side that has soup on it, still connected to the same little location. Grab a bowl.
Something. Anything but sticky your damn hand.
I would say grab a bowl and kind of scoop it out, or talk to the person behind the counter.
It's like, I don't know, like say, hey, there's no ladle here. Can I
get a ladle for my cheese? My first impression is not, oh, let me cut my hand and stick it in this hot cheese.
And
it's hot enough that when you lift the lid, steam.
Oh yeah.
Up.
It's obviously hot. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get close to that bad boy and you feel it's hot.
These are the future leaders of the world. So these motherfuckers are in college. It's like, you better not be taking no civics or economics or no shit like that. Because
I don't want you to be my doctor. I don't want you to be. You're not going to be a politician. I'm damn sure you ain't going to be no engineer.
No.
If
not, not doing stupid shit like that. Hell no. Mm-mm.
So yeah, that was probably the craziest thing I had ever heard. And of course, we're sitting there eating lunch, and I busted out laughing. I had people from the other side of the dining room looking at me, and I'm at this table rolling.
Just cackling.
Yeah, like the worst laugh that I've ever done on the show times 10. I didn't give a damn who was looking at me. I was like, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I laughed, the more Tyler laughed because of my reaction.
Of course.
And then, he keeps, how he does when he gets a good reaction. He keeps going in on it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, hell. My ribs were hurting. I just hard.
Can't believe, like, what would possess you to do that? Like, ugh.
No, I don't know.
But then again, we live in an era where, look, because someone said to do it or saw someone else do it, that they were literally setting themselves on fire. So
pretty much.
Honestly, I don't even know why we're shocked at this shit. The fire challenge pretty much just told me there is no hope for humanity and people are just dumb as shit. So, yeah. This is the next logical step. Yeah,
sounds about right. Yeah. So that's dumb shit for this week. Remember, dumb shit of the week is your show. So send us in your submissions every week. We'll compile them, read them, get a good laugh, and shout out to you for sending them in. Keep them coming. You can send them to us on Twitter at giantleap4geeks or email it to us at officialoglfg@gmail.com.
We're going to get into some science.
Yes.
So, okay, now this is some... Okay, I know we do genetic modification and shit, but this is like taking it to a whole other level. And I was not even aware of this. The story is actually a couple months old, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, I think it was the first time I had heard anything, too.
Mm-hmm. So I'm getting this from the spaceacademy.org. Says dinosaurs could potentially walk among us in real life soon, as the paleontologist who inspired the original Jurassic Park movie has announced a research project to bring the extinct creatures back to life. Dr. Jack Horner says scientists are only 5 to 10 years away from genetically engineering dinosaurs into existence. According to a report by People, Horner is working with scientists at Harvard and Yale, looking to the closest living relatives of dinosaurs in the hopes of reverse engineering them. There's a quote, "Of course, birds are dinosaurs," Horner said, "so we just need to fix them so they look a little more like a dinosaur." Why? Why are we doing this?
Okay, so the man was the inspiration for the movies.
He was like he is a paleontologist,
sure.
And he talked to the author and like helped them,
sure.
And told him like what would be accurate and what wouldn't and stuff like that.
Sure. Did he not see any of the movies?
Thank you. I'm like, have you not sat and
there
watched
are
these?
5 of them at this point.
Mm-hmm. We know how this ends.
Not good in any one of them.
We know how this ends. Like, okay, look, I could see
no
why you would want to a degree, but it's like, why even fuck with it? Like, don't, man. Like, no.
I'll say you fucking with Mother Nature. She gonna.
It's asking for trouble. It's like, what? Why would you bring something back from extinction? I mean, for one, we don't know how its biology is going to react to the atmosphere of the Earth and how things are now. I mean, these things have been dead for millions of years. And then you are going to try to reverse engineer them to survive in today's climate. And not only that, why? I mean...
And you know damn well you're going to get somebody who's drunk who's going to try to ride a T-Rex.
Hopefully they stick to like smaller dinosaurs, but even then though, it's like, why even give it an opportunity for something bad to happen? Just don't do it.
I'll say these creatures are huge. Most dinosaurs are huge.
Well, they do have like the little ones.
Well,
and stuff.
sure.
Yeah. But even them though, if you get enough of them, they can still kill you. It's like they can trample you or some shit.
Yeah, eat you to death or spray deadly acid in your face. This is not a good idea.
No.
Let me repeat this. Public service announcement.
Right.
This is not a good idea.
No, on no level. And I will say, it is fascinating how far technology has come along. I mean, I'm all, about the fact that this shit used to be just make-believe and the stuff of sci-fi movies, and the fact that we could potentially do this is cool.
That does not mean that we should.
Right. That being said... No, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to be just like fucking Jurassic World, Lost Kingdom. Some asshole is going to be like, oh, we can use them in the military. You just wait till we got a Chickenosaurus running around killing motherfuckers in Iraq or some shit. It's
And
just
you
like,
know what's funny that you said Chickenosaurus, because I think he said that in the
yeah,
article.
yeah, that's where I got that from. I was like,
Chickenosaurus?
Chickenosaurus? I was like, are you fucking It's just like, why?
Oh, we can give him teeth. That's the easy part.
Yeah, right. He's like, oh, just got to figure out the tails and this, that, and the other. He'd be good to go. And it's like, okay, no. Just look, for all these people out here like, oh, we're afraid of AI and stuff like that is going to take over and it's going to be like Terminator and Cybernet or Skynet, Jesus. No,
it's going to be Jurassic World.
Right. No. We're not going to be killed by anything that advanced. No, it's going to be fucking dinosaurs are going to kill us because some dumbass thought it was a good idea to make a Stegosaurus and shit, and then it just spiraled out of control from there.
Can you imagine all the people applying for an exotic pet license? We got people in Florida with their monkeys and they're biting people's faces off. True. But, let's make dinosaurs. Because I can control a dinosaur.
No, it's much
I'd
better.
like a dinosaur pet, please.
No, it's much more realistic.
Yeah. No.
Oh, man. But, yeah, no, I didn't want to stay on that one long. I was just like, why? Who? No.
No is the only word that comes to mind.
Where's Jeff Goldblum when you need him?
I know, right?
Come tell these motherfuckers this shit is a bad idea. If y'all won't listen to anybody else, listen to Jeff Goldblum. He know what you're talking about. He's like, life finds a way. That's terrible.
Life does find a way, and that was a terrible Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I won't even pretend like it was good.
Sorry, Jeff.
Anyway, moving on. These next two stories are gonna both be about movie delays, and yeah, and one, I'm honestly like, you can delay this shit and never make it because I'm good on that. So I'm getting this one from CosmicBookNews.com.
Oh, my favorite.
Not comic book, Cosmic Book.
Cosmic Book.
Get it right. It was previously reported that Will Smith was going to first film Bad Boys 3 prior to Suicide Squad 2. Mm-hmm. But now it looks as if Smith will also be filming Bright 2 prior to the sequel as well. The news of what looks to be a further delay also follows the news of new writers coming on board as in June as David Barkatz and Todd Stashwick are writing the script with director Gavin O'Connor.
Here we go again.
So, sure. Now, this is what I was referring to when I was like, so y'all just gonna just keep trying to make this shit no matter what, huh? Like,
yep.
There are a contingent of people who did enjoy Suicide Squad. I'm not one of them. DJ Melly Mel is literally drinking out of a Suicide Squad cup from the movie theater as we speak.
This was before I knew what the show notes were. I just grabbed two cups,
yeah.
And we happened to go to the movies a lot. And of course, the plastic collector's cups are like 50 cents extra.
Sure.
So we have one for every movie that we go to. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I will be surprised if this movie ever sees the light of day. Because to be honest, with the way the DCEU has been going, I don't see them making a Suicide Squad 2. Even for the people that did like it, it's like, man, y'all have fucked up everything else to the point where it's just like, how are you going to continue this continuity with these characters, but then be trying to redo everything else? And, real quick, apparently Ben Affleck is in rehab right now for alcohol.
Yes, so I heard that.
I'm like, yeah, man, he is done being Batman. Just write him off completely. That is a wrap.
When I heard that he had checked himself in.
Sure.
Because he finalized his divorce with Jennifer Garner, and she had made a pit stop to his house. The only thing that I could think of, not that Ben Affleck was emotionally unstable, or not that, he's got a drinking problem. My first thought was, anytime I run into my ex, I'm going to damn near need a drink too. So maybe he was just taking some preventative measures, and she was just one of them people like... This bitch gonna make me start drinking. I'm gonna preemptively take myself into rehab. I swear to God, that was my first thought when I heard it on the radio.
You can tell he's going through some kind of midlife crisis thing because he got that big ass stupid dragon tattoo on his back and it looks dumb as shit. You know what it looks like? It looks like that dragon tattoo that the Joker had in, I don't know what run of the Batman comics it was in exactly, but issue number 563 of Detective Comics. No.
Hey, Doc, down in Houston, I know you're listening. Why don't you tell me which comic we're talking about here?
Oh, yeah, shit. Shout out to Texas, because I've been trying to figure out, I'm like, man, there's somebody in Texas that's been listening.
Houston?
I didn't know the exact city. I just knew it was Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shout out to California too, because somebody out there is blowing our shit up, and I'm like, hey, keep going. But yeah, it seems like Warner Brothers. No matter what, it's like I get it. I appreciate that you're trying to stick to your guns.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, we've invested money into this. We've established these characters. We're not going to bail out on this shit.
Right.
But at the same time, if there was anything that you could cut and drop from the DCEU and not continue down that, people like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Okay.
That's fine.
So they're probably going to keep her around.
Sure. Do your thing. Some people like Will Smith as Deadshot. That's fine as well.
I was all right with that.
But nobody gave a shit about Captain Boomerang, the actor that played him, or the
samurai
chick. Yeah, and not that these characters aren't good characters, but it's just like the way that y'all portrayed them in the movie. It's like, well, that doesn't make me excited to see more of this shit.
No.
Like.
And, I mean, you kind of hit it. Margot Robbie and Will Smith. That's
pretty much
what we've got.
And to a degree, Jared Leto.
He's on the fence. Not we're on the fence about him.
No.
He has supporters, and he has those that are
adamantly
like us and want to barf all over the fact that he was Joker.
Or
again, Joker in air quotes.
Right.
By
Quote,
name
unquote,
only.
The Joker, yeah, because that damaged tattoo fucking grill in the mouth and all that.
Thank you.
Anyway, so Joe Kinnaman, he's the actor that played like the sergeant or general guy or whatever that was like running the squad when they were out there.
Oh, the one in love with
Waller. Yeah, he was with the witch bitch.
I like that. Banging the witch bitch.
Yeah, and he said that they are trying to take a more grounded approach to the world this time. Like, I guess basically trying to make the environment more grounded and realistic, and then have them just be like these fantastical people in this, kind of regular mundane world. And so the juxtaposition of them being all bright and colorful and crazy and shit, and this bitch, has a baseball bat that says pudding on it and all this shit, it's like, so it's, yeah, I get what they're trying to do, which I guess that could work better. I don't know.
Maybe.
The problem with the movie wasn't that it was all flashy and crazy and shit. It just wasn't good. It just wasn't very a good movie. And the story was so stupid too. It's like, okay, we're going to create a squad to fight, Superman-esque, enemies, and we're going to build the squad around our most powerful member, which was the witch.
Right.
And the moment they go on their first mission, the witch turns on the group, and it's like, oh shit, now we got to go fight her. And it's like,
you couldn't have seen that coming.
it's like, so your whole point of making the squad has now turned against the squad. Great writing, guys. Like, this is stupid. It's like, why are we doing this? Anyway, I'm not going to go down a Suicide Squad rabbit hole. I don't care.
Don't do that.
What they do with this, as long as they either fix and or kill Jared Leto's Joker. Like,
yes,
I'm sorry. He's got to go. Either, and I don't know how you would fix him. Honestly, I mean, the only thing...
Drop him into another vat of acid, see what else comes out.
The only thing that I could think is they need to just say, that is not the real Joker. That is like the Robin that, Batman thought was dead, and he went crazy, and he's playing as the Joker, or somebody else who's trying to be Joker-like or something, but... I don't even know how you would explain that, because then it's like, well, is the Joker that Harley met not him? And it's whatever. Anyway...
Somehow, some way, we need Jared Loco. Yes, Jared Loco. Jared Leto's gangster wannabe.
Yeah, that shit's gotta go.
He gotta go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And again, he's a great actor, but he was miscast for this. Or not necessarily miscast. I just feel like he needed better direction. Somebody needed to come in and be like, this shit you're doing? No. Like all this, Harley, and all this, like, no, it's dance for him, dance. And it's like, that's not the Joker. I know there's different interpretations. Every actor is going to do his own thing with it, but what you did with it is not what's up. I'm sorry. It's just not. But
Be like Nelly in the Longest Yard. Him out.
yeah, right. But the other movie that has been delayed is another week. So that means another update of the ongoing James Gunn drama.
Oh my God.
So
somebody needs to tell Dave just to shut up and let it be.
Well, at this point, this is actually not his fault. At this point, this is something that, and it's the way that some people have kind of put it out there. It's being kind of disingenuous.
Did I roll my windows up?
I don't know.
Did you roll your windows up?
Yeah. It's disingenuous because of the way that they're kind of wording it and putting it out there. So for those that don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has been delayed. And it's been delayed indefinitely. So now, I know when you hear that, it sounds horrible, right? But I think that people misunderstand what indefinitely means. Indefinitely does not mean it's never going to happen. Indefinitely means there is no precise date or time of when it's going to happen. They're just saying it's delayed until
further notice.
Yeah, further notice. That's basically all it means. But when you hear indefinitely, people think, oh, they're never going to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because that word just sounds like it has a finality to it. But no, they're still going to make Guardians, I hope. But I'm getting this from superherohype.com. It says, before Comic-Con, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was believed to be on target to meet its May 2020 release date. But following director James Gunn's widely publicized dismissal, the project's timeline was jeopardized. Now, the third Guardians movie has been placed on hold. However, the sequel is not being canceled. Instead, it is said to be a regrouping, and they put that in quotes, for Marvel and Disney. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has been pulled from its release schedule. Disney and Marvel have reportedly released crew members from the production so they can find other work. Pre-production had already begun, and filming was slated to begin in 2019. The cast will also likely be released for the time being, at least until the sequel is rescheduled. So basically what happened was they decided, okay, we need to figure out, who's going to direct this. We need to, get some final drafts of the script together and stuff like that. So in the meantime, instead of having these people kind of sit on their hands and not be able to go get other work, besides that, we're going to just, pull the movie until further notice, which a lot of people, myself included,
still doesn't sound very promising.
No, but a lot of people, myself included, kind of expected it. I'm like, they're too close to when they were supposed to have started filming to just be like, all right, we're just finna throw somebody in there and just do it. Because at that point, then I'd be worried that, oh, this is going to turn out bad because y'all just
end up like Justice League.
Exactly. That is exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, they finna pull a Justice League and it's just going to just destroy this third movie. And so I guess there is some kind of, you can take some kind of solace in the fact that they didn't just outright cancel the movie and say we're just never going to make it, and that they're not just trying to rush to make a release date and they're just going to throw some shit together and it's not going to be as good.
Right.
So at least there's that. There is some people who think that there may be a possibility, because at this point, they haven't had any meetings with any directors that we know about to take the place of James Gunn or anything like that. And at this point, it's like, well, guys, if you're going to make this, y'all need to figure out like when we're going to make this shit happen. And it's like, they can't delay it too long. Because until 2021, maybe at the latest, because you can't.
Pushing it to 2020 was already.
Well, the last one just came out 2017, and then they just showed up this year in Infinity War, and we're going to see him again next year in the next Infinity War.
That's true.
Or Avengers movie, whatever they call it. But, so it's like, it's not like we haven't seen them for a while, but if after the next Avengers movie, we don't see the Guardians again for another 2 or 3 years, and it's like, yeah, you don't want to lose your momentum, especially when the Guardians of the Galaxy was such a surprise hit, and it's like one of the most popular, of the Marvel movies, surprisingly. Like, who would have thought a talking tree and a raccoon, would be something that people would want to see. Oh, yeah, no, I love the Guardians movies. There is a contingent of fans, though, who are pretty much vowing not to see the next Marvel movie because of what's going on with James Gunn and Guardians. I don't know how serious they are, but it reminds me a lot of what's happening with Star Wars right now, about how people are pissy about episode 9, and they're like, well, you know what? I'm sorry, episode 8, and they're like, well, we just won't see episode 9. We're just going to boycott, anything y'all put out until y'all start making the movies the way we want them to be.
Right.
That I can't necessarily get behind per se, because I'm like, you're going to purposefully try to sabotage a film that you haven't seen because you're mad about a different movie that may not necessarily be, like Solo, for example.
Right.
I don't know who wanted this Han Solo movie in the first place, but
shit, it wasn't me.
Right.
I didn't even like the regular Star Wars.
But I mean, they did it, and I mean, sure, it may have flopped on its own, or it could be because of what's going on with people not liking episode 8. But all I know is the next thing that's coming out is Captain Marvel, I believe, and I would be not too pleased if these, angry, fans tank Captain Marvel because they don't want to see, they want to punish Disney, I guess, for firing James Gunn.
Right.
And,
Go ahead. I don't know, though, because Captain Marvel has nothing to do with Guardians.
But it's not about that, though. It's about...
I know, it's on the principle, despite...
Yeah.
But my point was I think she might have enough positive to overthrow that. I don't know.
I hope so, because this is Marvel's first female superhero-led movie. I mean, yeah, we've had female superheroes in the movies, but this will be the first solo female superhero movie for Marvel. Not ever, because obviously Wonder Woman, but this is Marvel. Yeah, turn to do it. And yeah, it would be a damn shame to tank that movie because we're mad about Guardians. Like, I get it. Believe me, I get it. But I don't know. I can't necessarily co-sign that. Now, that being said, if they want to pull out of this tailspin that they're in right now, Kevin Feige is going to have to pull some shit out of his ass to change the conversation right now, because that's really all anyone's talking about related to Marvel. I mean, yes, some people were kind of talking about Spider-Man, Far From Home, and, where's the Captain Marvel trailer? When is that coming out? But for the most part, the thing that's on most of pop culture's, tip of their tongue right now is, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep. So they gonna have to show some. They might as well just put out Avengers 4 now. Just don't even wait. Like, you know what? We just finna skip straight to this shit and appease these motherfuckers because they mad as hell. And I'm worried that no matter what they
Black
do,
Panther 2.
You know what? One of the YouTubers I watch had talked about that as well, saying like, they need to just go ahead and announce, yeah, we making Black Panther 2, Infinity or Avengers 4 is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah,
and just pull out all the stops, because Marvel has had a good track record to date of not like delaying or pushing back their movies. Even when Edgar Wright left the first Ant-Man movie, they still, went ahead. They replaced the director. I don't think the first Ant-Man was the greatest movie, but it was pretty good, all things considered.
It was decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it
and
wasn't any worse than Deadpool or...
Sure, right.
I would say not that Deadpool
was I was going to say, people ain't going to like that you made that comparison. Deadpool and Ant-Man, like, what the fuck?
Deadpool wasn't bad. It just was low budget.
Yeah, sure,
and
sure.
you could kind of see...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. The second one.
The Ant-Man was kind of low budget, so that's what I was kind of getting at.
Oh, okay. I got you. But I guess the whole point of this is I don't want to start getting into this thing of anytime a studio does something that maybe not even be directly related to the movie itself, like the story, that we're just gonna boycott shit. And it's like, this is how the fandom becomes ugly and, volatile, even more so than what it already is. And it's like,
right,
for the most part, Marvel's been on a good track record, and it's shocking, to see that, I don't know, man, because at the end of the day, I don't know if they just think like, oh yeah, everything will be fine, we'll get everything all figured out, and people will just forget about this. There's going to be a portion of the fan base who will never let this shit go. And for legitimate reasons, I can understand that perspective, but yeah, I don't think they're ever going to be able to brush this under the rug. This is always going to be, this is the first big dark stain that will be on the MCU. Yeah, people were kind of shitty about Edgar Wright leaving, but I think we kind of got over that because it wasn't like wrapped up in politics and all this other stuff.
Sure, it
like
wasn't as controversial.
Exactly. So this is, I think, the one that they're never going to be able to live this down. And this is probably to the point of the people who were upset when Disney bought Marvel, that this is the kind of shit that they were worried about would happen, is they're going to try and neuter them and censor their shit. And it's not so much as the creative content, but it's like, hey, somebody steps out of line or don't toe, the company line. It's like, hey, you got to go. So we'll see what happens.
It's a fine line that they're walking between studio and fans, and who's gonna push back harder.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with it, but yeah. All right, we're done with the fun stuff. So, I put this story specifically at the end because it's serious and I don't want to bring the mood down. So for anyone, if you've made it this far, you can go ahead and skip to the end if you want. Follow us on Twitter, email us, all that jazz, subscribe, rate, all that jazz. But this was important, and I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to give it its due. So if you don't want to have your mood brought down, go ahead and skip to the end. No hard feelings. Totally understand. But that being said, for those that somehow, didn't hear about this, on Sunday, there was a mass shooting in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 people died, and, 3 people total died, including the gunman, and I believe 11 people were injured. And it was at a Madden event at a pizza place or something like that, video game bar in Jacksonville. And here, let me pull up the actual article real quick so I can get all the information here straight. Okay. I'm getting this from CNN. It says the shooting left 10 injured from gunshots and 1 person with a non-gunshot injury. Sheriff Mike Williams said all of the injured are expected to survive. He said 3 of the 4 people hospitalized at Memorial Hospital have been released. The sheriff's office on Monday identified the 2 victims who died as Elijah Clayton and Taylor Robertson. I believe they were like in their mid to later 20s. The one guy, I believe it was Taylor, he had won a Madden tournament about 3 years ago, and the Elijah kid was like a up-and-coming gamer and had been, doing really well in his short time that he had been playing professionally.
Okay.
And we still, to this very moment, do not have a motive, per se. And we, as a whole, I guess, it's theorized that he was upset about losing, and it just spiraled out of control from there.
I want to say I've never been that upset about losing something. But...
Exactly. Now I've seen pictures of the guy. I've watched a couple interviews he's had, from other tournaments and stuff. And fuck him. I am not gonna say that motherfucker's name. I'm not gonna give his memory no kind of press or fame beyond what he is already getting. I viscerally hate shit like this, because this is the kind of shit that lets people catapult off into, video games and this, that, and the other. And it's like, shut the fuck up. It was a football game, all right? Madden's been around forever. Like, Madden is not making nobody kill nobody. Now, granted, I've seen motherfuckers get pissed the fuck off and be ready to fight and this, that, and the other over Madden and shit like that, but you can... do that with anything that's a competitive,
Sure.
activity. Like,
Sure.
emotions
You be
run
playing
high.
real sports and
Exactly. Emotions. I mean, shit, people beat the shit out of each other in fucking hockey all the goddamn time. So this isn't like a new thing. But I don't want to say that saying that we are sending thoughts and prayers has become trite and meaningless. So I won't say it. I will say, fuck that dude. I hope he burns in fucking hell. Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him. Like, that is horrible. I mean, you shoot up a video game bar with a bunch of goddamn kids and 20-somethings in it. Like, fuck you. Over a goddamn game because you lost? Bitch, get good. Like, don't... See, and I said, like, this was going to make me angry. And that's why I said, like, if you want to skip this shit, you still got time. But...
you won't like him when he's angry.
Exactly. These events are endorsed by EA, the company who makes Madden, and there needs to be more security at this kind of shit. Like, there is no reason that this should not be treated like a concert or any other thing. There should be fucking metal detectors. Check these motherfuckers. Like, I don't care if you feel like, oh, your privacy. Right, I know, but it's not. But at the same time, there shouldn't have to be, though.
There shouldn't have to be metal detectors at schools either, but there is.
Right. And it's like, it's so fucked up because this is supposed to be for fun. This is supposed to be something that, hey, if you're talented and skilled enough to excel at the game and be good at it, then there is a way for you to make a living off this and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, you lost. Now, granted, yes, I mean, it's more than just in this particular situation. And again, this is all speculation. I don't know if this is why he did it, but I can't think of many other reasons why else he would have. Unless he just had some kind of personal grudge against these people beyond that. But it wouldn't make sense because one guy's from, like, I believe California, Texas, and then the shooter was from, like, Boston or something, or Maryland somewhere.
So cross country.
Right. So it's not like, like they were, like, friends and all this shit, or, like, he was fucking his girl or some shit. Nothing like that. But the fact that someone was a coward enough to go kill some kids over a game and then kill himself is fucking pathetic. Like, you are, like, lower than fucking scum. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm trying to articulate this in a way that makes sense, but
it just keeps coming out fuck.
Yeah, it just makes me so angry. I'm like, you fucking little dick, fucking pathetic piece of shit. Like, if you're just so mad about whatever, then just kill yourself. Like, I don't condone suicide, but it's like, man, if you are to the point where you feel like you got to turn the gun on anybody, turn it on your goddamn self. Because I'm like, that's bullshit. Because you do fucked up shit like this, and then you're too much of a pussy to face up to the shit that you did and go to fucking prison. If you seen this bitch ass motherfucker, he would have never made it a day in prison.
Probably not.
But you do all this fucked up shit. You ruin people's lives. You injure, maim, kill people,
and then
you
don't
kill
stick
yourself.
around to see your consequences. I get it. I get that. I get frustration.
I get what you're saying.
The fact that it's even a thing. Like, what is wrong with our country and our world? Because it happens in other countries too.
Sure.
But
it feels
a lot
like
in our country.
A lot more here.
But why is it to the point where, oh, well, I didn't win, so I got to throw a temper fit. And then it escalates more than just a temper fit. Oh, I got to hurt somebody because I didn't do well. Or, you have to hurt somebody because, like, why is that our first reaction, to jump towards violence and weapons? And why does that, I've never been one that's, oh, well, I didn't get my way, so everybody must suffer. I didn't do something well, that's on me. Mm-hmm. Somebody else did it better than me, which means I need to step up my game. Mm-hmm. You got a 99 on that test, and I only made a 9. somebody needs to start studying, and sure hell isn't your fault that you studied and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault that you got a 99 and I got a 9. I just think that maybe we should probably start teaching other generations to come kind of how to handle these emotions, because it's getting way too out of hand.
I think you have a point. And to be fair, like the first big mass school shooting was Columbine, and that happened, in like the 90s, like late 90s. So I was gonna say we can't totally blame it on the millennials and all this shit.
No,
like I said,
not at all.
And it wasn't like kids. Like these motherfuckers was all in like they mid to late 20s and shit.
Yeah, I know they were our age.
Yeah, so it's like
I get it, but at the same time, I still think that we should stop this ring of, oh well, somebody pissed me off, so my first reaction is go grab a gun and hurt somebody.
I'm not gonna lie. As a gamer myself, I can understand the argument that gaming culture is very volatile to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making that argument personally per se, but I can see the argument that can be made.
Sure.
Because get on any online game for 5 minutes and you will hear some of the most racist, hateful, bigotry, just all kind of just terrible shit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's like young ass kids and shit on there doing that shit. And I can get the argument of it's like, well, you're already making an environment where it's okay to be a terrible person.
Sure.
And you can hide behind your anonymity of your controller and your gamer tag and just kind of, do whatever and fade away and just log off whenever you don't want to get into some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
where do we draw the line?
Right. At the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, this is why he did that, because gaming culture is volatile. Culture in general is volatile. I'm like, we love action movies and shit like that. I mean, the most popular things that we go and witness as a culture are people getting blown the fuck up and shot and killed and all that. Like, we love that kind of shit. And I don't know if it's just our society in general or just our love of guns as a country or what it is. And I mean, and it wasn't an assault rifle or any kind of shit like that. He did this with a handgun. Like, he didn't go in there with a Uzi or some shit.
Well, I mean, at least it was something reasonable.
Right, but it just... Fortunately, the loss of life was minimal, and the most of the injured are going to be okay.
Well, that's a good thing.
But it's still no excuse for this kind of shit. And I saw people like arguing on Twitter and trying to already politicize this shit. Like, oh, well, see, the left's going to start talking about trying to take the guns again. And, oh, the rights are going to, they're going to, find a way to say, oh, well, if there was a good guy with a gun, he could have stopped this and this and it's like, I don't want to hear all that shit. Like, I'm so sick of this shit. We can't go nowhere. You can't go to movies without getting shot up. You can't go to video games to get shot up. You can't go to school. You can't even go to fucking church without some fucking asshole who has some shit wrong in their fucking life going out and taking it out on other people. And it's just like, when will this shit ever stop?
Where's the love, y'all?
It's and I'm sorry, I try not to politicize the show because this show is not about politics and shit like that, but it is directly related to something in pop culture that I enjoy, and this kind of hit me a little bit closer to home than some of the other ones, and it's sick, man, and it's sad, and this is the kind of shit that makes me lose my faith in humanity. Like I want to see the good in people.
Sure.
I want to be
all
optimistic. Do. But when this kind of shit happens, it's like, man, just fuck everybody, man. Like, my heart goes out to the families who lost their loved ones, and I am sorry that things like this just
unfortunately
keep
happening.
I won't say the sending thoughts and prayers and all that shit, but I mean, I do feel your grief, and I am upset as well, and I don't know the answers. I don't know how to make this stop. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what we can do differently. But at the same time, I feel like these companies who are sponsoring these events and shit like that, it's like, because, you know, they weren't just playing for fun. They were playing for money.
Right.
And it's like, if you're going to have competitions like this and money's involved, and like I said, emotions are high, at least have, you know, good security at this kind of shit. Because it's like, after this, whoever won this, they were going to go to Vegas and play for even more money.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, there is no reason that a, you know, multi-billion-dollar corporation can be sponsoring an event and won't pay for fucking armed security to keep these fucking people safe.
Yeah.
Just like at concerts, anything else. The fact that we have to have just fucking armed guards at everything is sad. I mean, just wait till a restaurant or some shit gets shot the fuck up or something, and then they're gonna be talking about metal detectors at Bob Evans and shit. It's like,
well, I mean, they've already got nightclubs.
yeah,
Nightclubs, schools, churches,
Yep,
video
movie
game
theaters.
bars, movie theaters.
Yep.
I mean,
malls.
I would say
all kind of shit.
Walmart's going to end up with a armed security here soon.
Yeah, and I just want this kind of shit to just stop. I don't know how else to express it. I just want it to stop.
You and me both.
Yeah,
I want the world to be safe for our kids.
exactly.
And as it sits now, it is not.
No,
And I don't even have kids yet.
Exactly. Your unborn children.
I want things to be safe for my unborn children, and it's not. And I'm with you. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know who's right as far as making the laws.
Right.
I don't know what's going to be best as far as what kind of things we have in place, or what kind of things we're going to take away, or how many times we can limit something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to matter.
No. Somebody will always find a way to do some kind of fucked up shit, but I'm just like, I just wish that there was a way to just make people just stop doing this shit. It's like, I'm not in any way, shape, or form condoning violence against anyone for any reason, but I can't. I can understand in the moment of rage when you want to hurt someone else who's you feel has wronged you in some kind of way, but why hurt people who haven't done anything to you? You know, it's like these people did not. I mean, sure. Let's just say, in this sick fucking bitch's mind, that he justified to himself shooting, you know, these kids because they beat him in a video game. Why then go kill or try to kill all these other people who have literally nothing to do with what just happened between you and whoever else?
Right.
And then turn around and kill yourself. It's like, I don't know. And I feel, like I said, the reason I won't say this bitch ass motherfucker's name or give him any kind of more spotlight or fame or to his memory is because I feel like it does, to a degree, create copycats. Like people who are already inclined to do this kind of shit and see the fame and press that these motherfucking people get that do this shit, it inspires them to go and copycat this shit. So I don't know. And on that note, kids, be fucking safe out there, man. Just, I don't know. Just keep your eyes open, your head down,
and learn to be understanding.
Yeah.
If you lose something, it's gonna happen in life.
Yeah.
You're gonna win some things. You're gonna lose some things.
It's life.
Just shrug it off and move on. There are so many good things in the world. Don't spend your life being angry and hating things.
Yeah. But all right, guys. That is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com, or on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Make sure to show us some love, so go ahead and like, subscribe, rate, follow, review, and all that shit.
And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you want to weigh in on anything we've said, or you just want to say hi, you can always send us an email at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. We're on Facebook, Reddit, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram, basically every social media platform that there is nowadays. All you have to do is search for us. One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right. You guys have a good night. Bye.